can't. Look, can you see me? I don't.
Yeah.
How's my new haircut look?
We clacking. You clacking that haircut?
Rick did a great job. Almost got into a fight at the haircut place.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I pulled up, and I wanted to park out of the sun, and so there was a guy coming in a truck, so I kind of waited for him to go by. So I went around, and he tried to back up into me, so I'm like just got my car back, and I was going to back around the other car when the traffic stopped. He pulled up and was like, hey, you could have parked back there, and I'm like, I was actually going to be nice and try to back up, but you kept coming at me aggressively. He was like, yeah, well, you don't do all that. I was like, all right, well, have a great day. Oh, you get your hair cut? And I'm going to see you inside, you 5'5" fat fuck.
You saw him inside?
Oh, and I just stared at him a bunch.
Were you guys in the chair next to each other or same bar?
No, he got his chair about 10 minutes later, but when she spun me around, I was like, it does look good. Just kind of stared at him. He was like, because he was talking shit when I was like getting out of the car. When I stood up, he was like,
see you inside, buddy.
Yeah. Oops,
Cheers, queers. Welcome to the 43rd episode of From Behind the BarCast. That's crazy.
Cheers. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, 43. So we're almost at a year now because we do one once a week. We're recording early on a Friday because we have a very special guest today. We have Martin over here. He's off camera, but you'll see.
The Puerto Rican Vinny King. In many ways.
In many ways. He's going to be our guest for this after the first half, and we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/From Behind the BarCast if you want to help support. We put out a new This Week Behind the Bar video this week. I missed last week. And before the show today, I took a shower.
We have an email. We got an email this week.
We have an email.
Yes, from my dad, Carl King.
Oh, we got an email.
Carl B. King III.
So I didn't get a chance to read it all. I saw was yep.
It just said, that was because the initial email I sent to him. But it said, Kelly did a great job this week. And he sent us a shot of a drink he wants us to make, which is called a Alaskan duck fart. Are you familiar with a regular duck fart?
Is that like Jaeger and something other gross?
The Alaskan duck fart is 1/3 Kahlua, 1/3 Bailey's, and 1/3 Crown Royal. Layered and pretty.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why would they call it a duck fart if it's like not super crazy? Well, no, just the ingredients seem like they would mix well together.
In Alaska, anything that can go well together to keep you warm.
That's more of a mallard fart to me.
Yeah. An Alaskan duck.
A mallard toot.
Didn't fly south for the winter, that's for damn sure.
So
keep emailing us at FromBehindTheBarCast
at gmail.com, not at dork.com. We got our buddy Mike.
at .dork.
.dork. He goes, hey, man, what's the email address? I said, FromBehindTheBarCast at dork.com.
I feel like you told that last week. Are you having some memory issues?
Oh, yeah. Well, I bumped my head in the shower today, and this is not a bit.
Not yet.
I dropped the soap.
We weren't shooting our shower video. But I'm going to remember that.
I'm going to try and drop the soap when we do shoot the shower podcast. But I dropped the soap, and the soap holder, which it was sat on.
Yeah, stay tuned for his shower here in the next few weeks.
And I whipped up really fast, and it rung my bell real good. And the thing was, luckily,
front of the head, top of the head. You look
about top back, like where it was already flattened anyways from birth.
From birth.
In the back of my water head. But yeah, so hopefully I don't have a concussion whilst I'm drinking here.
Yeah. Well, hey, you'll know when you wake up tomorrow, or
if I don't wake up.
Maybe get your girlfriend to stay the night with you.
At least it's better than well, I'd rather be like, oh, my head hurts, I'm going to sleep and never wake up than
than any
something
kind of
else,
regular death.
Something else. Yeah.
That's the way to die, right? You just die in your sleep.
Yeah, even if it's not very good sleep. I mean,
people are like, I don't want to die drowning. I'm like, well, that's over. And it's done. Fire. You're not going to actually catch on fire and die. You're going to die from smoke inhalation.
That is true.
Most likely, especially if you're in a Volvo.
Yeah,
be very safe.
But what if you're in a stack of tires in Jalisco, Mexico?
Then
is the plastic melting your skin down going to kill you, or
I'm just going to start eating tire just to go ahead and get it over with.
You'd be like, I smoke cigarettes all my life, so I won't die in a fire. So I won't die of smoke inhalation.
Put a little of that abuela sauce in this tire. I'm going down.
You probably don't get this a lot at Circa, but do you ever have the Lieutenant Dan Forrest Gump money waivers? Or like,
occasionally with the checkbook, they'll waive the check. I mean, very rarely, because I will ignore you with most waving at me.
Well, see, there's two types of money waiving, I think. Okay, there's I have an intention to buy something, so I'm making my money present.
Yeah, if you just put it on the bar,
or even just holding it. You know what I mean? Just like having it prepped,
shuffling.
But if you're doing this number, Lieutenant Dan ice cream, you know what I mean? That's what I think of. Yeah. Oh, and if they wave you down like they're pulling you into an airport hangar,
Oh yeah.
I always just whatever they do, I just mimic. I'm like,
People that circle, they wave at me. I wave back. I'm like, hey.
I always just repeat the action.
That's what you deserve for waving at somebody. I see you.
Yeah.
You know what I do all day? Look in this place.
Right.
People that need things.
Yeah.
They don't have a beverage. I bet they want one.
I love the disappointment whenever they make a huge thing.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't get anything in return.
I like to do that and then look at the whoever they're with and they're like, oh God.
But the person with this happened the other night too. It turned out to be a good experience, but typically if someone comes in and it's either going to be a single person or a couple, it's never more than a couple people. It's only one or two. And they order something and say, in this particular situation, it was $8. They ordered two $4 beers. They gave me a 20, and then they left the $5 bill and the $7 $1 bills on the bar in front of them as if to continually pay if they were to order more stuff.
Yeah.
Typically when people do that, they spend all that money.
Right.
They're like, oh, here's $1, bud.
Right.
But these people were like, oh, we love this place. We're going to stay. And they ordered a bunch of food and they paid with a credit card. But normally that particular situation never turns out well.
Yeah.
Because you kind of see what their budget is right in front of them.
Yeah.
And you'll kind of start ignoring them a little bit. Like, there's only $4 left there. If he buys anything else, that's
Yeah,
it. I'm not getting shit.
You're like, oh, they're $5 now.
Do you ever,
Happy hour's over.
do you ever undersell at your place to make sure that there's a gap between what you think they're, because you can kind of tell if someone's like coming in like, oh, we don't quite have enough to really eat here.
Yeah, I'll be bringing that up in a little while.
Okay,
for sure.
Okay, all right.
Yes, so, and especially like if someone asked me the price of stuff, like sometimes at the end of the specials.
Well, that's they'll
be like, hey,
with everything.
But we're at an upscale restaurant, and if anything costs more than anything on the menu, I will go out of my way to be like, hey, we do lobster thermidor sometimes. It's $60, and I'll be like, hey, just FYI, the lobster is $60 more than anything on the menu. I don't want to be tacky, but just
sure, yeah.
You don't want them to get the tab and be like, no, but that's your tip gone.
If your top thing on the menu that's written is around $40 or something, and then there's something that almost
surf and turf is $70, I'm telling you,
you got to tell, man. That's just
you don't want
yeah.
Or if somebody asks me about a bottle of wine and I sell it to them without them looking it up, I'll be like, and it's this amount of money.
Yeah.
Because I want them to not be surprised that I sold them $130.
Sticker shock is hell for the person.
You know what's hell on? The person that sold it.
The person
and
that sold it
didn't
to
tell
them.
them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it very rarely is a person like, that's fine. Like, I don't tell you the price of bottled water when you get it because you should know.
Right.
But I've had people that are like, oh, the waters cost money? I'm like, you mean the water in the bottle?
Yeah, right,
yes,
yeah.
that does cost money.
That's weird because at Pooh's, my dive bar that I work at, most people try and give me money for water all the time.
Yeah, and you're like, no, please,
I'm like, no,
you're helping me.
Yeah, I'm like, drink all the water you want, keep your money, give it to a kid. You know what I mean?
Do you sell less water in the winter than summer?
No, I sell more water in the winter than I do in the summer. Because in the summer, people are like, just give me another beer. You know what I mean? They think that that's what's going to help.
Oh, I mean, those are the people that get done mowing their lawn. I mean, granted, you get done mowing the lawn, a beer is amazing.
You can yeah.
But you need to pre-hydrate.
Yeah.
If you're out there drinking from beginning to end and your lawn mowing experience is only to get away from your wife and 7 kids you hate, I get it. But if, you're just mowing the lawn, you get done, you chug 2 tall boys, and you're like, ooh, man, I'm feeling kind of woozy. Yes, you're dehydrated, sir.
Well, that there's people in this world that haven't taken a sip of. I used to work for a guy. The only liquid that ever hit his lips was Pepsi. Literally Pepsi.
Someone on Tybee passed away in the last couple of years. I won't mention their name or anything about them other than they're a female. But when someone that used to date them told me about them, like she wouldn't drink water, and he would get on to her to drink water. She said, well, you don't drink a lot of water. You drink 4 Cokes a day. He's like, yes, but I wake up 2 big Yetis full of water and 2 before bed, so I'm getting some water. And he's like, the only water she drank was in the ice in her cocktails.
Yeah.
And it was like Red Bull and like Crown or something she drank. Like she drank Betty's all day.
Oh, wow.
Which is like,
Jeez,
fuck you, hydration.
Yeah.
She was like, there's ice in here. Like, that doesn't count.
There's water in beer. It's like, no, there's not really.
Not really.
That doesn't count as water.
You ever had the alcoholic that's like, it doesn't eat, that drinks,
Yep.
and just drinks? And they're like, oh, there's my buddy who was smart was like, oh, there's hollow carbs in beer. I'm like, that doesn't really help, though. Like, you're getting some carbs in the beer, but it's not like a full glucose powering your body.
And it's not
carb.
Usable carbs necessarily.
No,
those are stored carbs.
Yeah. You're not going far with this. You're going to go lift weights later.
I mean, you might could cut the grass later, but that's about it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger used to finish his workout, shot of rum in his protein shake, because alcohol helps absorb a lot of things faster, a.k.a. if you drink Gatorade, you get more fucked up people. Having a Pedialyte and Gatorade at a festival seems like a good idea.
In the morning.
But you're at a festival.
Yeah.
You're not,
exactly.
you're not going to mow your lawn later. I mean, you might think you're mowing the lawn later.
Actually, you've never seen you must not have ever seen my Instagram photo because I have a kid's lawnmower on the beach.
You do with the bubble one. You have the bubble lawnmower.
A bubble lawnmower on the beach.
I forgot all about that.
So yes, I do mow the lawn at festivals. Thank you very much.
This sand is so flat.
I was walking around like, hey guys, you like mow? And I would just anyone who wanted to sit down, I'd be like,
Mo's the name of a band too, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Mo's the
okay.
name of a band.
See, I know hippie stuff.
I was like, you guys like Mo? Hey. And it would take about as long as they'd be like, hey, and then I'm gone. I'm out. No Mo for you.
Do you make the noises as you're doing it?
Oh, got caught up a little bit.
Gotta crank it again.
Oh, I ripped the string out like after like 15 minutes.
They're just pulling.
I got it in the water one time.
That is
I was
the
like, flooded
worst
the carburetor.
The worst feeling is like trying to crank your lawnmower, and you're like, you need to flood it. You're like, damn it. You switch hands.
Mine downstairs that was given to me by Eric Thomas. It is the most basic machinery.
I saw Travis mowing one time over here, and I was like,
It takes one every time.
a good lawnmower?
Yeah.
Like, I've got one that was like, one crank, and like I've had it I bought it so my mother can mow her lawn. So it's a self-powered, self-propelled lawnmower. And like, if I don't have the filters clean, it takes a little while. Can't pop that off. It's too loose, sorry. Martin was here. I didn't want to get it too tight.
That's true.
But yeah, once it's, if it's, if I had to crank it tomorrow, I haven't used it in a month, it won't crank. But, after, use it every other week in the summer.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
It's
boom.
great.
It's great.
Simple machinery. It's like the one that I have. It's like I don't know the brand, but it's got a Briggs & Stratton motor on it.
Hey, Briggs & Stratton, bro. You know that thing?
That's it. And it's not
people do the lawnmower is the worst thing. Crank it and start mowing. Every motor on the goddamn planet, every engine, when you crank it, needs a little bit of time just to get things.
Mine tells you it's got two sounds. It runs hot for a minute. It's like
yeah, like when you get in your car, you crank your car, you
Yeah.
up the RPMs, it's at like 2,000,
Yeah.
and then it drops down.
It needs a little bit.
You can go ahead and move. I'm out there in the old Honda right now, and that thing takes a few minutes. Today, when I had to circle
Yeah, you
back
got a
for
flat tire today,
Yeah, I got a
huh?
flat tire in my car. I got back 2 days ago, but the patch blew. It's whatever. It's going to cost money. So I had to come back. I had to crank the car, and I'm like in a hurry. I'm like, come on, baby, warm up. I got to go.
Come on,
And then I
baby.
forgot like 3 things in my other car. So, but we
Yeah.
got the cranberry for our.
Oh yeah. Well, yes. What are we drinking?
We are drinking
Tito's
vodka, which will come into play later. Have you ever heard of Tito's? Tito's vodka. Great value cranberry juice or whatever.
I could tell it was great value
It tastes
because
good
of how
value.
valuable it tastes.
And some coconut water that is called what now? One of y'all brought
That's
it?
him.
Imported Coco's Nuts juice.
It's called what now?
It's imported Coco's Nuts water.
Put that right
Ah,
up. Put that
Coco's
black thing right
Nuts.
up on your mouth. Nope.
Coco's Nuts water.
We have a friend named Coco.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, before you got here today, I fucking dropped the soap in the shower.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and as I was lifting my head back up, I whammed it against the soap
You already told the
dish.
story.
What?
So at the break, we're going to have to do some stuff. I have a flashlight.
You have a flashlight to check my people?
I have a flashlight and a flashlight. We'll check both out.
How long have we been here?
About a day and a half.
And
It's
what?
Saturday.
What is your name again?
I'm from. He's behind, and you're the BarCast. Look, last week
That's
you
a
called
good
me.
name.
Last week you were like, "I'm Clint."
Oh yeah, I almost had a concussion back
Was
then.
it last
too.
week?
I don't know what week it is anymore. I
So-
mean, we're recording on a Friday.
Speaking of forgetful douchebags,
Yes,
Karens and Terrence.
they
Karens
exist.
And Terrence.
All right, so you've already prepped me on one, so I kind of want to hear the Kern one.
You want Kern first?
I want. Well, tell it in the order that you would like to tell,
Okay.
because I don't have any Karens.
Wait, you know
or
what
Darrens.
Kern wants first? Kern wants a good song.
Okay. Oh.
Oh shit.
So I
It's the
dropped the soap
Karen
earlier, too.
of the week. It's the Karen of the week. Ah shit.
Oh shit.
Oh shit! Drop the soap.
I forgot the
Say
song
that
for
shower
real.
party.
I'm glad
I
you said
know.
something.
I know. Look, I'm actually very concerned now. So, Kern. We have a woman that comes into circa 1875, 48 Whitaker Street, 912. I'm not going to give you the whole phone number. Google that shit.
She's a regular?
Nope, never seen Kern before. But the hostess, who, shout out to Janet. She was a little hyped last night, but whatever. Janet comes to me. She goes, look, her name is Karen White. Could not be a more Karenish name. And she wants to be called Kern. And I'm like, you mean like Kurrn? She's like, yeah, Kern. And she made a point when she said, Kern White. She goes, Karen White? She goes, Kern. Like she was very...
She corrected her. She
Kern
said-
was stern about being Kern.
Oh, nice.
Kern was very adamant that she be called
Oh,
Kern.
wow.
Now, I don't come to the table with their name or anything, But I often go back and look, see if they have any special requests. They've been in before, just because I want to know more about them sometimes. Wasn't real busy.
But you can probably tell, like, you're like, I think I've seen them before. Let me go look them up.
Well, I looked at her and went, she was like a fucking Karen. Now,
this is without hearing the Kern yet.
I'd heard none of this.
None of
when
this.
they walked
Gotcha.
up the table, she sat in the middle. The three ladies, she's in the middle seat. The nice lady,
She's with friends.
With friends. Yeah, Kern somehow has friends. They'd also called her Kern the whole time, and I'm like, must have just met him.
Wow.
So one girl's like, I'm like, hey, what do you want to drink? She goes, well, get them. I'm the host. And Kern immediately chirps up to what she wants to drink. Cool, get them. Get the other lady a cocktail. Things are going all right. I mean, I'm immediately like, this lady's got some Karen tendencies. And so I mentioned to the hostess, she's like, oh, no, check this out. She tells me the story about Kern.
Wow.
And so I'm like, wow. Now, at this point, in Kern's defense, I'm like, I'm going to antagonize this woman subtly as much as I can. Because if you're going to call yourself Kern instead of Karen, you are definitely a Karen. If you're changing your name from what you've been called until, a year ago, Karen, because she was Karen White. I bet she said Karen White all the time because she was proud to be Karen White and last name White.
So I would think if you were and we kind of talked about this, if it's stigmatized to be, there you go, to be named Karen, you'd just be like, hey, my name, you just go with your middle name. Hey, my name's Sally.
Yeah.
But for you to not change it enough, that does denote that you are an actual Karen.
Or just change your name legally to be, Kurrn or however you want to spell it. With the Q, I don't care, lady.
Corinne.
So, Kern. and I'm not going to call her cunt more than once.
Okay.
That doesn't count.
Kern the cunt.
Kern, she's okay at first. I go to take the order, and the lady who's the host said, "Oh, get their order first." Kern immediately steps up because she wants to order first. Doesn't order an entree, whatever.
Very Kern of her.
She gets our. We have a grilled frise salad. It is my favorite salad in the restaurant. They grill frise, which is kind of a bitter, like tenderly type herb.
I like frise.
Grill that on the fire grills with a little smoky with large chunks of lardon. That's thick cut bacon for you non-French people. Lardon. And with a poached egg on top. It's a bacon and egg salad. When I describe it, it sells itself. Came in with my family one time, 6 of us. I was like, hey, we want to start with 3 of those split. My dad goes, well, what if we don't like it? I go, I'll literally eat all 3 of these salads.
Don't worry.
It's so good.
I'll knock them all down.
Yeah, so she orders that. They all order food, whatever. I'm listening to them because it's slow. I'm waiting on an 8-top to show up. And just kind of listening to Kern and her friends. And Kern goes, we went to Vic's on Mother's Day. And, I understand people are short-staffed and, things are going on. It's a pandemic, but I expect 100% service, 100% quality food. I don't care what's going on. And that was an important day for
Is she
people.
white or black?
She was white.
Karen White was white.
Karen White was white.
Okay, gotcha.
Karen White was white. Karen White probably didn't get a tan because she wants to be white. So she's complaining about Vic's on Mother's Day at brunch not getting 100% service and the food not being the best quality it's ever been. If any of you go to brunch any day of the year, know that the worst day is Mother's Day.
Yeah.
The second worst day is Easter.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for us guys that have kids, not the 3 of us, Father's Day is not even in the top 5. But there's just, Mother's Day is the day. You go, you have patience.
Yeah.
You pretend you're a mother.
Whether it's breakfast, brunch, lunch, or dinner.
But if you're at 1:15 on a Sunday on Mother's Day, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
But Kern is not to be dissuaded because she's important. She walked there because she lives downtown. She made that apparent to me 3 different times. Fine, Karen.
Okay, Karen. White.
I bring out the appetizers. They get into them. They're doing fine. I go to clear the mussels. There's 1 mussel left. It's closed. You can't get in there. Oh, no, we're not done with that. There's no sauce. There's no sauce
They've
left.
already sopped it all up with
It's
the
all
bread
gone
and
with the bread.
everything,
And I gave them extra bread because I wanted them gone before 8-top got there. So I gave them a 6-tops amount of bread because I knew Kern's
because you're pretty stingy with the bread normally.
I'm normally stingy because I want you to get 3 courses. But Kern, I wanted to get the hell out of there. So, no, we're not done with that. Okay, so I watch. And all she did with that afterwards was stack another plate on top of it when they were done. And I walk up, she goes, we're done with this. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's the same done as it was before.
Yeah. So I'm being incredibly nice to her, but I'm also touching the other ladies a lot and not Kern. I'm making a point to be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Showing them some love.
Some affection.
Keeping the love from her.
But no Karen love.
Kern.
Excuse me.
me.
And so I bring out the entrees. Kern, as I said, got the salad. So I think, what'll be fun? Giant pepper grinder.
Crunch.
Kern goes, oh, that's too big. It's offensive. You should get. You need a smaller one. There's some over there. And I'm like, okay. As 2 other tables go, oh, that's awesome. Can I get a picture with it? So I'm like, yes, you can. And I pause next to Kern, like with her in the picture. who also, by the way, I've got a picture of Kern. It's going up.
So you got her snapped into
No,
the
I took a picture of her with my phone, like later on when she was being a Kern. And I was like, got it. Like, took the picture, didn't care. Write me up. I don't give a fuck. Like, at this point, I'm so infatuated with her being such a bitch. So, into the meal comes. I try to clear out. The one woman got the pork chop, biggest entree we got. Hey, can I clear that? Put it in a box for you? Oh, no. Kern goes, no, she's not done. I'm like, and she's got the signal, knife, fork. She's done.
Right.
She never touched it again. So as I go to, I walk over and Kern's looking the other way. Hey, I'm going to box that for you. Oh, box that for you. And
Slipped in.
And Kern's frise salad's about halfway done. And she goes, I said, everything okay with salad? You want a box? She goes, no, I mean, I'm kind of weird they grilled it. They don't usually do that. I'm like, we've been grilling that salad for a while. She goes, not usually. I'm like, well, I've been here for 5 years. Guess what they've been doing? Grilling that salad. She goes, well, I mean, they should put it on the menu. I'm like, oh, it's actually on the menu, ma'am. If you'd like, I'll go get it right now for you.
Oh,
She's
wow.
like,
You were hot.
Yeah, I'm hot. But I'm ready. And I also have, like, all the servers watching. They know what's going down. The whole staff is aware.
You got a peanut gallery.
Peanut gallery. And the garbage, the line guy is, like, leaning over his 5'4" ass is like, Keen's like, get it, Kern. And so she's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, well, next time, ma'am, if you'd like it not grilled, just tell us.
Yeah.
And your server will have the staff not grill it for you. But we've been grilling it for at least 5 years. It gives the frise a little more abundant smell. And Kern's like, so that's fine, Kern. I bring the check out. I put it as far from Kern as it can possibly get.
To the host.
Because
she's the host.
Who tips me 50 on 165.
Oh, wow.
Because she knew
about
about Kern
was kerning.
But I have never, I said, thank you, Miss Ann, when I got check out because I got her full name. I didn't know the other lady's name. But on the way, I'm like, thank you, Miss Ann. Thank you, Karen. As loud as I can say it. When she's at the door and like the turn, the look, the distaste. And she looked at the hostess like it was her fault. And I was like, y'all have a good night. And like someone was coming in, so she had to leave. She could not respond.
She couldn't
Kern correct me. She couldn't Kern correct. It was like, she's gone, the door closes, and the staff's like, I got
the rest of the restaurant
I got
was
three
like,
high fives. The guy on the grill, in the kitchen, he was like, that was the move. I'm like, how do you know? He's like, oh, it's all back here.
We all knew.
It's all back
People
here.
with the day off know about this shit.
Yeah, it was great. I felt so, like, just so vindicated in my life.
Because it's so nice when it works out that way that she's walking out the door, but she can't pause there after you've called her by her true
by her God-given name.
True
She
name,
went by
Karen.
for 66 years.
And she couldn't come in because she couldn't stay in because
stop,
someone. Yeah,
there was too much going on. She was like, it was great.
You think she went home and tortured her cat after that or something?
With her cats?
Yeah, cats.
She's got at least 4 cats, 2 outdoor, 3 indoor, and one of them's name is Karen. She just kicks that one.
I want the thing about like, all right, if your name is fucking Karen, that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But you are the front line.
But own it.
Of destigmatizing.
Like the Karen I gave a positive out to. She owns it. Her name is Karen. People, yeah, I'm Karen. And she eye locks.
Yeah. She's like, hey, I'm Karen. Just get to know me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, I'm never going to call someone a Karen or a Darren unless they're 23. Unless they're asking, unless they're asking for it.
Michael Jordan, 23 of Karens. So now I'm on the hunt because of last week for a black Karen.
Okay, yeah.
But to be a positive Karen, what I can be like, so what do you I'm going to literally ask a black woman, like, what do you think about being Karen? But now, it's circa in French food in Savannah, there's not we've got some regulars that are African-American ladies, but we don't get a lot of touristy.
Yeah, because see, if you don't know what we're talking about last week, I posed that there are no black Karens.
Yes.
Because typically a Karen is a entitled person.
Well, it's a white name. I mean, for the most
part.
No,
I understood, but I mean, like, just the idea of a Karen.
Yeah.
It's an entitled person who thinks they deserve more than they actually deserve.
Yes.
And typically, you don't get that with black ladies.
You don't.
They just want what they want.
Yeah.
They're not like, I expect this.
And they're more straightforward than a Karen's all.
Exactly.
Karen hits you with the.
There's no passive aggressive shit. They're like, excuse me, I asked for this.
Yeah. They're like, hey, I want this.
Yeah, exactly.
I want this right now. So Paxton does not have a Darren this week.
Yeah.
So I'm going to double up here because before
Double D. Kern and Dern.
Kern and Dern. So Bruce Dern came into the restaurant. So I had this Darren who I was like, this is a pretty good solid Darren.
Yeah.
On my first shift of the week. And this is the Dern. I don't know how much of my legs you can see. But when you get done with your meal at a restaurant, sometimes you want to stretch out some.
And maybe pop the belt open.
Pop the belt. But it's a French bistro. The tables are very close together.
I've been there. They're
and when
very
you
close.
put your legs in the aisle, my size 13 foot may kick or step on your foot. I step on feet occasionally. I apologize. It's kind of dark in there. You got dark shoes. I got, whatever. And that's always an apology. So Darren leggy Darren, who's like 5'8". Your freaking legs on
All
the table.
legs, though.
Yeah, all legs.
No torso, all legs.
We'll
and
get to
shoulders.
Darren's legs. We'll get to where Darren is the underpayer or the suspect price man. Hi, Clint, your server. I see you have a few $36 bottles of wine on here. What's your best cheap bottle of wine? And I kind of stare. I'm like, well, we don't have any cheap wines. We have some affordable wines that are at $36 price point, but none of them are the same flavor profile.
Bottle?
Bottle, yeah.
Okay.
Bottles of wine.
That seems cheap already, though.
Yeah, but it's very affordable.
Yeah.
They're all good wines. We take wine tastings constantly to put nice wines on the menu, but the fact that they're $36 are the cheapest ones on the menu, so none of them taste the same. So I go through.
Oh, so yeah, because you try and do a strong red, a buttery white. Yeah.
So
you try and run the spectrum.
Run the gambit of Darrenosity can find his
of
wine.
your affordable wines.
Yes.
Let's use the right term. Affordable.
And so I explained to Darren the tastes in each, and I'm like, this is probably what you want, the Pinot Noir. Oh, we'll have that then. I bring the wine over, and this is a fucking pet peeve of mine, especially when you're having a cheap wine. It's almost as bad as me to decant your $36 bottle of wine. Is I pour, taste, whatever, and then I go to pour a glass, and I'm, an ounce in. Oh, that's good. Okay, but then they won't pour more wine for themselves. I have to pour an ounce of wine every time.
Every time you return to the table?
They're drinking a little bit, but they want it to stay in the bottle for no good reason at all, because the wine performs better in the glass. It opens up more.
It opens
more
up.
oxygen. It's also a $36 bottle of wine.
It's not going to improve very much.
There's not going to be a lot of change going on either way.
Yeah.
So, and he put the cap on the bottle the first time. No, the cork back in the bottle. So I just took it. The cork does not go back in the bottle. Unless you're putting it back on ice, the cork comes out of the bottle. Red wine.
Took it.
So he
Give
put
it
it back
back,
in there.
Darren.
So I just took it with me. Because then you can't. What are you going to do now, Darren? Put your fork in there? Your fingers.
Fork
hold
you, Darn.
Yeah. So dinner's about to come out. I see one entree in the window. I said, can I pour you some more wine before dinner? I'm at this point still trying to be accommodating. And she goes, oh, I have some. I go to pour. He puts his hand over her glass as I pour a drop on his hand.
Onto his hand.
And he's like, oh, hey. I'm like, oh, sorry. I was talking to her. And he's like, well, she doesn't need any more wine. I'm like, I'm sure she can make that decision for herself. Ma'am, would you like some more wine? And she's like, oh, no, I'm fine. Looks down in a way, because Darren has been smacking this lady at some point in time.
Yep.
You can always tell.
Yeah.
And I could see her
Looking at the
reaction,
ground.
face red. She's down and away from me, looking away from the dominant male in the situation, and is like, And I'm like, now I hate you.
Damn,
Darren.
dude. Yeah, because you can when you see abuse, you can see abuse
And
sometimes.
that makes me very upset.
And you just want to kick him in the
Yeah.
yeah.
Because, you don't have to beat a woman. You can beat her psychologically.
Yeah. Daring her.
Daring
It's
her.
Dominate her.
Darren.
Her psychology. Be an asshole.
Yeah, so they finish their dinner, and Darren turns sideways. Feet, legs out. I mean, a full in the lane. This happens a lot. I walk by, I kick his feet, and I'm like, oh, sorry.
Purposefully.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Oh, I saw him.
You saw him coming
I
from.
saw him out, and I saw him, because he was sitting in the seat, which is easier for me to see, and I saw him, so I usually will kind
That's the A in Darren. Assert dominance. You're
Assert
doing
dominance,
it. You're doing
yeah.
it. Killing
R
it.
is wreck everyone's life. That's right. WR wreck. So I kick the legs one time, and I come back from the other side. I get him again, and she's like, maybe you should move your feet. And he's like, it's fine. So I'm just kind of.
Like, well, I'm going to play ping pong with your fucking feet then, brother.
I'm like, do you want some dessert? Ma'am, would you like a dessert? And
Yeah,
she-
really get really.
Yeah, and she
really
looks at
focus
him,
on
and I'm
her.
like, we have creme brulee, ma'am. It's really nice and light. And she's like, I don't know. He goes, we're fine. I'm like, all right, here to check. I'm check ready because I want Darren out.
Of course.
And so I'm prepared to take I got like a 13% tip from Darren. I don't care.
13. Yeah, you're just glad they were gone.
Yeah, this one wanted to go, but I wish I could have yelled, "Hey, bye, Darren," on the way out the door. But
Bye, Darn.
God, if his name had been Darren, it would have been so good.
So, how it was just a couple? Them
Just a
two?
couple, yeah.
I remember when I was there was this really fat dude that kicked his feet out. He was kind of like
He was
catty.
my Darren of the week.
Oh yeah. He was kind of catty corner to us, and you could just tell that he thought he was like. It
A
looked
lot
like,
of guys that do that think they're like, "Oh, I'm the hot shit."
right. Yeah. So let me just pop
I'm the
it.
Darren
up.
of the year.
Yeah. Dude, that's funny because
The Al Bundy.
because see, like if I've and typically like in a restaurant like that, I would never. It's kind of hard to eat until like bursting full.
Yes, unless you're gonna eat all the bread.
Yeah, that you don't give to people.
Yeah.
But I've definitely been like buffets and stuff, and I'll pop the belt.
Oh, if you're in a buffet,
and
all bets are
I'll
off.
pop the belt and lean back.
Yeah.
But I can't. Like
You keep your legs in your personal space.
Dude, before you guys got over here, I was taking a shower, and I used a certain soap for my face,
Mm-hmm.
and I use a different soap for my body. So I put the soap for my face on the soap dish. That's like, right, and it fucking fell off. So I dropped the soap. I know it's like a prison thing.
Well, at least you were alone, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. So I dropped the soap, and as I was getting up, I fucking banged the shit out of my head on the soap
I think
dish.
you told us about this earlier.
I told you last week.
Yes, maybe not. Now you know what? Now I think I have amnesia too.
We're gonna take a break really quick, and we're gonna see you guys after the break with our special guest, Martin from the Breezy Cab. Lego. And welcome back to From Behind the BarCast with our special guest, Martin.
What's up?
I say your name a lot like I'm Gina. Martin.
All right,
That
so you kind of
show
blew my
saved me.
cover, but that's the song I'm putting in the break.
Oh,
for-
nice. You've got to though, right?
Dude, that show saved me in high school.
You-
It was
why
always
didn't you put a
Martin
Kelly
Luther
Clarkson
King,
song
and
in
then
for
that
Kelly?
show comes out.
Oh, and then all of a sudden, here comes Martin.
all of a sudden
fucking
they're
Lawrence.
singing my name in homeroom. So it's like, yes, thank
Goes
God,
into
Martin
that.
Lawrence.
So Martin brought us a gift. It's a bottle of Tito's.
With a fancy
Little
sweater.
on, and I was like, "Hey, man."
I also have a
I
fancy
also
Tito's
have a
sweater.
fancy Tito's sweater.
my mini-
And
I
you
didn't
know-
get the memo, so go dogs.
And you know how hot I be, so I got my fan right here. No worries. You don't be sweating that much.
And
Martin,
he ironed it for tonight.
I literally found this on the floor downstairs. I was like, I know I got
Yeah,
one.
it looks like Ryan Sadowski's floor.
He came in the other night. But like as soon as we talked about him, he came in. I was like, oh, hey.
I heard my name.
Oh, did you listen to the podcast? No, I'm
No,
just here.
what's a podcast?
We had Kelly from Breezy Rider last week. This week
My
we have
best
Martin from
friend,
the
I
Breezy
love him to
Rider.
death.
And so the very first thing I want to ask you, because this was going to be a subject that we were going to talk about anyways, but so during your cab rides, typically, because it's on Tybee Island, if you don't know, and the furthest ride you would have is like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And
When
unless
to
you're
the
going off
island,
island,
don't take
right?
that long. Yeah.
How many relationships have you seen melt down within a 5-minute cab ride?
Literally tons.
Yeah, like
I mean, alcohol's always involved, and people come here and the
no,
alcohol.
not a lot of people are getting a cab unless they're drunk or unless they're going to get
Well, we're
drunk.
talking about the meltdown.
Yeah,
the alcohol's
yeah.
always involved. Always involved.
You're not any sober breakups in the cab. After you pick up people from church. Have you ever picked anyone up from church?
Pick them up from Benny's by the time they get to the crab shack.
Bar
That's like
church.
almost the end of the relationship, right there.
Yeah, I'm sure. But that's like the daytime 3 PM drunk at Benny's. If you're not familiar with Benny's on Tybee, it's like that's where you go to get drunk during the day after you retire.
It's definitely an older crowd in Benny's.
Yeah.
But nowadays, all of a sudden, it seems to be a huge following from Georgia Southern. So it's like the karaoke spot for the young kids from college over
You
there.
know what, man? I noticed that like 2 or 3 years ago. I was going down to Windrose or Sandbar, which is other South End bars, and I walked by Benny's, and there was like so many under 28-year-old people in
They
there.
got a huge
At
following
Benny's?
in
for
Georgia
the
Southern
yeah
or something
Benny's
like
yeah
that,
for like karaoke or whatever, right?
These kids, they come out here and that's what they talk about. They come out here, they go to Benny's and they do the karaoke and they are deep up in there. But if you go in the daytime, it's a bunch of like, older crowd. But
Retired people.
yeah,
that-
and much older crowd.
yeah. Because I've heard my buddy used
Coldest beers on Tybee.
my buddy used to bartend there, and he said there's at least 20 people that were on pension or whatever you call it, like Social Security, whatever, and they would run a tab from the 1st to the 15th. Then on the 15th, when they got their check,
I get my check.
they would pay their tab, and then they'd run a tab from the 15th until the 1st.
That's a move right there. You got to. So
That's old school Tybee stuff though, right there. That's where it's like,
how long have you been with Breezy?
my uncle, that's my neighbor. Like
how long have you been with Breezy?
Shit, I don't even know, man. I've been with Breezy for years now. I'd say at least like 6-7 years at least.
So are you the non-related senior employee?
No, that would be Steven. I'm the second to Steven.
All right.
Okay.
Second in
It's been
command
that
under
long,
Steven.
really?
And how long have you been drinking cocktails with teeth in the bottom of them? Because this is what it looks like.
Well, this is what
It's got
happens
a
when
little
you
bit-
get
It looks like
imported.
there's a bunch of teeth in the
There
bottom.
are legit
Imported
teeth
in
in the
the
bottom
coconut
of
water
these
comes
things.
with baby teeth that have been
When
soaked in
Paxton hit his head
formaldehyde, so they're
earlier,
nice and
oh,
soft.
you
and
told
they
us
go
about
down
that, I
smooth.
think.
I don't remember what he's talking about.
Yeah, I knocked some of his teeth into the cocktail.
You think it's the cheers that's clanking, but it's not.
Yes.
So between your daytime, all right, what's more trouble? I would imagine like your daytime regulars that are on pension that pay their tab. Because I imagine
You're always night, right?
I'm a night shifter. Yeah,
Oh,
night
okay,
shifter.
well,
always at night.
so do you-
But I have done day shift a couple
But do
times.
you take people to? Well, what time do you come in at night? 5:30.
I start 5:30. Yeah.
So you're not taking anyone to work. You're not taking anyone to the grocery store. You're dealing with just drunks.
Usually the people I take to work are like bartenders and
Yeah.
people at the
That are
the
really late for
restaurants.
work, Edo or something.
Well, it used to be because now there's a lot less of those people that live on the island now.
Because you can't live on the island if you want to rent.
Yeah, or own a business apparently.
Yeah, right.
But yeah,
How much does that change between like what like the trouble of your rides? Because I imagine during the slow season, there's so many people that already know you. They're like, oh, can I pay you in a week?
Well, we got a couple of those, but not a lot of those.
Right.
Not very often. But we got a couple of those. And, always give anybody a ride when they need a ride, whether they got money or not, that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
But you got some people that try to take advantage of that.
Of course, yeah. So like 2 or 3 times in a row, they'll be like, hey, sorry, I don't have any money again.
Look, if there's legitimately somebody who needs a ride to work, that kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't got any cash, I get it. I give you a ride to work. But there are people that try to take advantage of that. And it's like, you could have bought one less beer before the bar closed. But
I've never
instead-
even considered not being able to pay a cab before. Like it's happened.
And expect them to pick you
I've
up.
had to go in the house and get money and come back out with it, but like very rarely.
Well, we run into it, but not as often as you think. But yeah, once in a while, you have some entitled, crazy people that.
But that I would say that would mostly be local. The only other way that it would be like that, I think, would be if they're not from here and they don't know that they need cash. But you'll take them by the ATM, right?
Yeah, we'll always swing by the ATMs. Yeah.
But is that? I mean, I can imagine like getting a drunk person and go, "Hold on, let me get my card."
Dude,
What's my PIN
the
code again?
later the time gets, the shittier the show becomes. All right, it starts out with people trying to catch a dolphin tour, trying to get dinner to, at the restaurant, and then later on in the evening, that's when the gloves come off and the shit starts.
That's when the
shit show
panties come
starts.
off. That's when the bras
it's
come off.
Everybody, woo, raging on their way to
speaking of
Benny's. It's
bras coming
dogs.
off. How many titties have you seen in the Breezy Rider? Female titties.
I've seen some titties in the Breezy, not a lot. More in the bus because they got poles in there, and girls, once they get a hand on the pole,
Oh, yeah.
they just start twerking.
Not Joey's
and-
titties. I'm talking just
So
I've seen some moves too. Not as impressive. Nowhere near as impressive. Not my flavor.
Yeah,
But I've
I
seen
identify these titties as.
Come on, man. We live on the beach. You get everything.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
That's true. You get people from the beach.
Do you
too.
ever? Did they ever try and exchange titties for cab fare?
Oh yeah, but that I'm not a simp, bro. I got
No,
bills.
I'm not. I'm
We
not.
have the internet.
Yeah.
But it has been offered.
Well, see, that's the thing. At the bar, so many people will be like, they'll lean over, like chicks, and they'll try and like present tits or something. I'm like,
like
I don't
hands
care.
together?
I don't care about your fucking tits.
I do not care about your tits.
I have the internet. I've
Yeah.
seen lots of tits in my life that I've seen in front of me.
Yes.
There's nothing that like the value is gone now.
Yeah. Unless you got 3, I'm out.
That's just
Total
with you
recall
on that
chick.
one.
Okay,
Total
look.
recall.
Where's the third titty go? On top, the bottom, the middle?
I think it's just centralized.
Was it
though,
central?
I
It's
believe.
been so long.
Well, it's not like I could whip my dick out at the bar to get a drink.
That's what I'm
you know?
saying. Hey,
I mean, I will get the
I mean, you can
attention.
get your lash
Hey,
but
can I
don't
get a
think I'll
rum and
the
coke?
drink.
No. How about that?
How about now? I'll stir it
Little
with a
man root,
You ever heard of an eggplant?
Doesn't sound like a tasty cocktail with eggplant in it.
Well, what about getting people out of your car?
Oh, fuck.
Yes,
dude.
we've heard Kelly's
Need to
side.
hire
We're on
an
your
assistant
side.
for that sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, back in the days, it was a thing that it was an issue where we would have problem people, but now, much more experience over time, and like you get to recognize it, and you don't even get yourself into that problem. If I could see
Right.
something, when I pull up and this guy's barfing in the bag, well, he's not getting in the car. He can't tell me his address or where they're going. I can't get him in
Not
this car.
getting. Oh wow. Okay.
And even the owners of the bars, they've learned about that over time. There was a time where I pull up and they like 4 people dragging this guy, like each limb trying to throw him into the back of the
1, 2, 3,
taxi.
throw him.
You're like,
And
no.
I'm like screaming at them, like, what am I supposed to do with this guy once he's in the car? Like,
Yeah, he's not gonna
he's
be
out
able
of
to
your
tell me-
bar, but now
This is
you
not
got
a-
a problem.
this is
Can't
not a-
have that, bro.
This is not a morgue.
So they all understand now. It's like the owners of the bars, I don't have to tell them anything anymore. They
Well,
know.
see, yeah, we learned a long time ago. Like, I don't call y'all for certain people. I'm like, no, if I can't deal with this
Island
dude,
taxis. You said last
yeah,
week.
exactly. I'd be like, I'll fucking hit up the Island Taxi.
I am the
Speaking of
pit bull
morgues.
of Breezy. They
Good,
send me
good.
on the problem calls.
I
I'm
got
the
you,
one
yeah.
that needs to go over there
You're
to
a
tell
little-
the person no, that kind of
You're a
thing.
little more forthright than some of the other drivers.
Because, I
you
mean,
don't know.
even Kelly-
Lee, she'll be like, sick him, like get him.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm the
yeah.
one that she sends out there.
That's
you know?
good though, because you need the enforcer sometimes, especially because, like you said, people
Yeah,
are going
I
to try and take people trying to take advantage of you. Like, not only on that, but like, say, getting in the car and then not wanting to get out.
I'm quick.
But you've learned over your tenure.
I don't have a problem telling somebody no.
Yeah, exactly.
That
right,
seems
yeah.
to be.
That's the nice thing about having bosses like you've got. There's like I had the same kind of bosses as we all do.
We all
They
do, yeah.
support you being like, nah, this
It's
is not happening
if
anymore.
I say
One
this
thing
dude sucks.
I love about my job, Ron,
Yeah.
Lee, they always got our back. So
Yeah.
there's nothing that I have to worry about. Like if I handle a situation, I go and I talk to them, they'll hear what I got to say, and they always got my back.
It always astounds
you
me
know?
when people. It's like someone tells a story about somebody being mean to Lee. I'm like, okay, look, Ron, I love you, but I can get like, Ron can be kind of a dick.
He can be
But when
abrasive.
it's Lee, I'm like, have you ever met her? Like she's
Yeah.
so sweet. Like she's such a
Yes.
loving.
And
And
what
Ron,
is it-
and Ron is a sweetheart.
he's a great
Ron's
Ron used to
easy
get my
to
mom's
get along
prescriptions
with.
for her when she was sick. He would go get them from the pharmacy and bring them to the house for her. And like, you can't. I called him. He was on my phone as Uncle. He's still on my phone as Uncle Ron because he came.
Yeah.
He came somewhere one time or something, and they're like, "Is that your uncle?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's my Uncle Ron." So that's my Uncle Ron because he's such a sweetheart. But like, I can't imagine being mean to Lee.
Something's wrong with your own life, and someone hurt you very bad. If you feel like you ever
There's
have
probably someone named Darren or Karen.
yeah, or Karen.
Oh,
If
trust
you're
me,
trying to take something out
they
on
got our number on speed dial. They call us constantly. We deal with nothing. Well, constantly we're dealing with those kind of people that are like
Really?
entitled, pain in the butts.
So, I want to ask. So now there's a Tybee food delivery service or whatever.
Yeah.
So y'all used to, especially off season, would drop food off here and there. Has that gone down because of that?
Like, we do things other than give people rides if it's a possibility that we can do it. If we have time and we're able to go to the store and grab you something, we'll do that. But sometimes we're too busy to handle those kind of things.
I mean, I've waited an hour and a half for some wings before. I called him. I was like, "Hey, can you give me some wings?" And Kelly's like, "It's gonna be a while." I'm like, "I'll wait. I don't care. I just
But that's
can't
not
leave."
the on offer from them. Like
No.
I asked for cigarettes because I know you guys will swing some by.
And then we have people that are definitely in a different place with us. They've been with us a long time. They're valued in a different area than just some Joe Schmo. And we will go over and beyond to take care of those people.
Sure, of course, yeah. But like, you're not just like, hey, on my way over there, you guys want any food or any cigarettes or anything like that?
What kind of chips do you like?
When I get 4 calls in a row from Huckapoos and everybody's ordering cigarettes, I would wish that somebody over there spoke to each other and they got it all together.
Yes, I've seen that happen before. You walk up with cigarettes, they're like, "I need some too," and you're like,
I'm handing out cigarettes and
See,
I'm
I'll
like,
ask
a bitty
if
stick, go tropical, okay? And
Well, see, here's the thing. Tyler doesn't have a phone, so he always has to ask me. So when he asks me, I'm like, well, I at least got 2 packs coming.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I-
Well,
if I
Paul
need
Mall
something-
Blues don't show up magically either because he
Paul
needs a
Blue-
phone
yeah.
as well.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Tragic Mike
I'm
doesn't have
just
a
trying to
phone
make a
either.
point.
Oh, no, but point taken. But I try and like get it together, but I know that I don't.
"Wait, is that why he's not returning my text? He doesn't have a phone."
Yeah, Mike's. Yeah.
Mike, you're listening. I'm trying to get you a PS5. Answer the phone.
No, Mike has a black box that you can touch and scroll on.
Wait,
but
is it a jitterbug?
But it only works on the internet. No, it's actually like an iPhone.
I thought it was like a child phone.
No, it's not a
limited.
jitterbug.
It's a jitterbug.
Yeah.
There's only call his wife,
His mom, his
Huckapoos,
wife.
and Elise
And the
or
hospital.
Breezy.
Yeah, I'm sure the Breezy would be
If
on
it
one
wasn't
of
on
those.
Street
All
Dial,
right,
I'd
she
be
sets it up.
upset.
She's like, "All right, you get 4 auto dials this month. What do you want?" I don't know. I'm gonna get drunk. I want to call somebody.
Well, how often do you kick people out of the cab? Like, how often is there a problem?
Like I said, not as often as I used to because
you
I
stop it.
recognize these
Right.
problems before they happen. But back in the days, I have run into issues. I've kicked out old ladies with their bags,
Yeah.
handicapped in a wheelchair. No, I'm exaggerating.
How'd you get the wheelchair in there?
But I treat everybody
Right in the front.
fairly, okay?
You don't care. And it's on top of the bike.
If I got to toss you your crutches on the ground after I kicked you out, I don't care about it.
I
had
remember
your
Blake,
shot.
I remember Blake had a broken leg. Yeah. How you get him out the car like Maurice? Or Joel? You throw the
I've
cigarette out
gotten
the
lucky
window?
too because I've had
Well,
some,
now it would
some
probably
scary
be,
ones
you
that I
probably
had
have
to
to
kick out.
kick out more of a local now than you would like a stranger because
I
typically
feel like I got it down to a symphony now where
Yeah.
I avoid those problems way before they even, like, I don't even let them in the car.
yeah, I get that. I know, but like
So if I walk up to the cab and the door's locked, I'm maybe like, check myself. Or my guess, because I've had people with me where I'm like, "Look, you are fucked up. We're going to get in this cab company. My friends own this. You're going to behave
Oh,
yourself,
yeah, yeah.
or I will fuck you up."
yeah. I always warn. I'm like, hey, listen, if I don't know them, I'll be like, listen, I'll call this cab for you, but this is what it is. This is a local thing. These are my friends.
You burn me.
Act accordingly, or if they kick you out, you can't come to me for help.
And I've had to come at her sometimes. I'm like, "Look, call Breezy. Be like, hey, Clint gave me your number, whatever. But you fuck around. Next time I see you."
But see, then there's
I
some
will put
people
my
I'm like,
teeth in your
I'm not
drink.
even. I wouldn't even dream of calling the Breezy for this person because I'm not.
And
putting
we
my
appreciate
God,
that.
yeah.
I'm not putting my friends through that.
We appreciate that. Trust
Or
me.
my name on that. It's like you recommend somebody for a job. You're like, "I'm sorry, I can't."
I mean, like, some people forget that we come here, we pick you up, and we take you somewhere. That's like the gig.
That's the thing.
Yeah. And they forget. They're like, "Wait," you're like, "That's all you want to do?"
I get text shopping grocery list.
With like multiple items. Like, nah, look, this is a speed checkout, 5 or less.
I want the Cottonelle. Not
One of my biggest dogs, and I love him to death, Winky, but he'll have me stand online to go get like busting butts from the Legion and shit like that, and call up Breezy.
And a can of Rotel. I need 1 can of Rotel, some salsa.
I'm out of olives at the bar, Martin. You know what I'm saying?
And while you're there, need an extra
I went
large
back over here.
T-shirt.
He is not concerned what they're out of at the bar.
I'm just saying, like, I go and I try to help him out, but I get
Speed
these
stick.
odd requests as well. Trust
Right,
me.
yeah.
Plenty of odd requests.
But people do forget it's like, I'm here to pick you up and then drop you off. And then that is our...
Because I've got
You
got
couldn't
odd
imagine
requests.
the crazy things. Like, I'll pull up to somebody's house and they're bitching at me like, "Man, we've been waiting for like 20 minutes. And then they hop in the car and be like, "All right, we're going to go down the street. You're going to drop me off at this person's house. You're going to take them
Yep.
down there. They're going to get a jersey. Then you're going to come back, pick me up, and then we're going to go down to the bar, and it's just like, did you tell dispatch this? And you're wondering why the fuck it took me 20 minutes to get to you.
You know why it took me 20 minutes? Because now it's taking me 20 minutes to get to the next place
And the
because
next guy's
of you.
going to be like, what happened? Be like, this Karen.
Dude, you don't know my life. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy what I do. I love it. You know,
You do
it's
have a
lot
good
of
time.
fun.
You do drive a little fast sometimes, but you have a good
Dude,
time.
It's like I'm
You're
in high
efficient,
school, but
though.
I'm the only one that has a car, so I'm driving around my friends around the
Right,
island, you know?
yeah.
So I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
Well, how many, I mean, do people think you're a therapist as well, just like they do with bartenders? Like, do they try and squeeze in some
They
life-
get in that front seat, hit the lever, lay right back, start dumping their
I've heard this
problems.
before.
Kelly
onto
said
me.
the exact same
Exact
thing.
same thing.
That's how you know they hit the
lay
lever.
back.
Goes everybody, listen up, bro.
You're like, oh, shit, he's leaning back.
And it's always their father. It's always their father.
really?
It's always
Did
their
you
father.
buckle up? So you don't smoke cigarettes.
No.
But it's okay to smoke in a breezy.
Yeah.
So does it ever, like, you ever like,
I got one rule, and I make them suffer because of it. If you want to smoke, the window has to be down. You know, I don't
Wait,
care.
people
that you
want to smoke with the window up? Like, I smoke when I get drunk sometimes, but like I don't like smoking in cars very much anyways, but with the window up is some old lady shit. Like, that woman who's babysitting me when I was a kid, she was 75 and she would, make you suffer through her lung cancer by rolling
That's
all
what
the
we
windows
call
up and locking them.
cancer enthusiasts. You know, they
Yeah.
they don't want
Guess how
just the
she
cancer
died.
for themselves. They want others to have it as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like,
They want
if
you to-
we're riding, I don't care if it's a fucking
If it's 8
hurricane
degrees
outside
yeah.
and there's pouring rain
Oh, so
downstairs.
you're saying the window has to be
Oh,
all the
yeah,
way down.
the window got to be down,
here's
bro.
the thing.
And I roll them all fucking down, too. I don't care. But
Yeah,
you want
yeah.
to smoke your cigarette and it's raining, fucking
Then
go
you're
for
gonna
it,
get
bro.
wet and freaky.
And I
But
tell my friends,
Windows
I'm
are
like,
going down.
my friends that smoke, I'm like, hey guys, we're going from Sandbar facing the right direction, Tuckapoos. It is a 5-minute drive. You can't wait 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You're gonna smoke at the bar when you get there. Maybe you just wait, save yourself
Yeah.
one cigarette.
Underestimate addiction.
Well,
Yeah.
well, we just went to Atlanta, and like it's I smoke in my car on the way to work sometimes, but on road trips I don't smoke in my car because.
Yeah, we didn't smoke at all.
But we didn't. So yeah, but
But
you know,
we didn't smoke any on the way back.
I think we didn't smoke any at all on the way
Yeah,
back.
we smoked
yeah.
because we were drunk as shit when we were up there.
Yeah.
And go brace.
But it's kind of easy to be like, hey man, let's take this time to not have a fucking cigarette because.
But we're social smokers. We're not.
I think that some people just see the breezy and that's when they light their cigarette. Because it's like they see me pulling down the street and it's
That
like,
thing is so
I just see
pink.
that glow and then they hop in the car and it's like
Morse code.
right into my face. Hi, Martin.
Hey, lit this just for you, Martin.
What's
So
up?
you want to give me a free ride? Because nothing is sexier than a woman who's blowing smoke in your face with some
Hey baby.
smoky titties.
How many door pullers do you get? Like you're just pulling up to get someone else, and then the rando person's like, hey man.
Constantly. And then I have to pull out the kids' gloves. And it's like, look, sweetie, okay?
Okay, so
Look,
that's your
sweetie.
first approach.
these
Look,
Nothing
honey.
more than a grown man being called sweetie makes him real happy.
Well, no, I mean, that's the kind of energy that I got to bring to them. You know, like,
Yeah.
look, man, you need a ride. I get it. We can get you a ride. You call that number there. You know, we'll have somebody come pick you up. But this car is here to pick these people up. You know, that kind of thing.
Well, that's a very tactful way to do it, but I would just imagine at like 2 a.m. that tact might not work.
well,
You're going to be like, yo, man. Look,
Hey,
hey, Martin.
you get more flies with honey than vinegar.
I get
you know what
that.
I mean?
I get
And if me,
gotta bring out your Shanae
me
sometimes.
reaching their level of aggression with a drunk person, first of all, arguing is the end fucking
is very
cause.
pointless, yeah.
And
You're very
me-
good at that, too.
Oh,
Keeping
dude.
that, both of you would think you would be like the hothead, but you're both very even keeled like that.
I
like
have
to bring their energy down
learned
to
to
mine,
It scares me when
try
I do it, 'cause
to
I'm
calm
like,
myself
"Excuse me?"
down and not be so, let my emotions like precedent all the time, because like I can be fucking hyper, you know.
yeah, yeah, and I've seen you like that before, but not
But
like.
if I'm sober and
Yeah.
I'm driving
Right.
and I
But
know
not in that
better,
situation, you
and this
never
is
like that.
familiar, I've been here before. After
Yeah,
a while, I
little
get to the
stoned,
point
you
where
know,
it's like
yeah.
I know how to deal with this better than before, and I know better than to start arguing and fighting with somebody who
because you
is
know
a-
that's going to be pointless.
At the end of the day, I have the keys to the car.
Right.
I am the king of
And
this
the key
castle.
to the situation.
Speaking of having
I-
the keys to the car, I have a question. There was a time when people would leave maybe the breezy running and go inside and get somebody, or leave the keys in the car, and a certain person named Chris Bartoletti got in the car with Clint in the front seat and just started driving in the Huckabee's parking lot. I'm in the passenger seat. I am looking at my phone out the window. Someone gets in the car, and I'm like, oh, ready to go. And Chris Bartoletti starts doing donuts in the parking lot. Now, you were not the driver. Steven was the driver. But, like, Steven was like, I mean, I'd never seen Steven so upset. But I was in the passenger seat also upset because
Yeah.
I don't want Chris Bartlett to drive me anywhere.
And you don't want Steven to think that you were
Party to the
yeah.
he knew because I was screaming louder than he was. I was like, motherfucker. I mean, I was when I get excited, I'm cussing. There's no more vowels in my words. I'm like, I'm over-aggravated, but I was like, also, I'm scared because like, do you even have a license? Like, no. And so he's doing donuts in the parking lot around Steven, and I'm like, I'm going to kill him when he stops his car. And he knew because he fucking stopped and he fucking took off down the road and away. And Steven was like, ugh. And then since then, I've noticed Breezy stops, keys out, up the porch.
I try to not leave the car, like the keys in the car ever, because I don't want something like that to happen. And trust me, drunk people, they might think it's funny and they don't mean nothing
It is
by
not
it.
funny.
But I don't got time to put up with this drunken bullshit. I got other things to do right now. I'm busy, you know? So I try to avoid that. But
Or try not to get out of the car at all,
it's
really?
like I
you
wish a nigga
want
would.
to get out of the
you
car
know?
if you have to.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, I wish a nigga would. You know?
No, for real. Now you're like, hey, man, fucking, yeah, go ahead. Take that bitch for a
We
spin.
could use the fucking insurance money for a new
Right,
ride.
Because, I mean,
I'll take the night off.
And
Fuck
it's
it, bro.
it's a free ass whooping, too. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like,
and like we all get to watch and be like, no one help him. He earned all of this after
Dern earned this.
Dern earned. Oh, man. He could have been a Darren quite a few times.
Beat his ass like a cripple in the front seat.
and then,
Can't get out.
and then throws wheelchair on top of him.
Insult to injury.
I mean, does it affect like the way you view, like, so the people that you typically have to deal with, does it affect the way that you deal with the world at large when you're not at work?
I
Does
mean,
it make you more wary?
you
of
live
people?
and you learn, you know, and you learn from
Yeah.
these experiences, and for sure.
So I bet it
take
helps your
with me.
personal relationships
For sure.
because you're like, oh shit, man, like I deal with idiots sometimes, and if I can bring them to a workable level.
I would tell you that I grew up on another planet. I
Yeah.
grew up in a place with a lot of aggression.
Yeah.
You know, these Puerto Ricans loud and violent, that kind of thing. And then coming down to the South and living in other places and being surrounded by people that handle their energy differently.
Sure.
I've
They're
learned
quiet,
from that.
violent, and racist.
Kelly is my best friend in the world, and
Yeah.
Kelly, I've learned to take a page out of his book and
Sure.
learn how to
Likewise.
deal with my energy differently.
He's very demure.
I've done my best to do that now because I grew up in a place where it was all fucking rip each other's heads off and fight,
Sure.
and always fight with everybody because you felt like your ego was important. Like that was a factor. You know, you're not gonna let somebody speak to you this way
Sure.
and things like that. But now, I don't got the energy
You have calmed down.
to
since
turn
I met you.
around and fucking meet everybody's fucking bullshit and fight with every single
Because
person
if
on
you tried
this
to
shit.
do that with every person that aggressed you,
I just ain't got the
you wouldn't have energy
it
for
anymore.
anything else in your
I
life.
just don't
and you
have
have
the
your own
energy
fucking
for that.
life to live.
And I like being pretty fucking chill. You know, I like
See,
being
I like the energy though. So
calm.
I see, you know, if I'm not in the cab at all, but I see a Breezy, I walk to the cab to say hey to whoever the fuck's driving.
Yeah, no matter
Who it is. Except that one redheaded guy drove for y'all for 6 months. Who would be like, yes. I'm like, never mind. I thought you were somebody else.
Steve.
But like, you'll get out. you got out. I think the last time I saw you driving, I don't know who was riding with you, but you got to give me a hug. And the person was like, hey, you're not getting in. I was like, he's saying hello to me. But like,
Yeah,
the
I
energy
remember
from
that.
you to Steven to Kelly is so variable. Like Charlie Long, there's all of you have your different energy, but it's always like a, hey, I'm not trying to poach your cab. I'm just saying hey to the driver, but it's a
We
it's
got a
fun
good crew.
energy.
The people
Yeah.
that I work with, we got a good crew.
You have a
man.
great crew.
You know, they are awesome dudes. So
And a lot of people, they don't like when they think you're imposing or
taking their cab?
or trying to poach their
Oh,
cab.
I've had quite a few people be like,
'Cause
hey,
I've,
I'm like, no, I'm
I've
not.
walked up to it before and someone's in the back seat and they're like, hey, buddy, ride's already here. I'm like, hey, man, I'm just saying what's up, dude.
With my hand out.
Which I get because I've been in the back seat and I've seen
Yep.
people come up and I know that they're trying to poach the ride and I'm like, hey, buddy.
I've literally watched a woman tackle the lady who was sitting in the seat and like slid her ass underneath her. So the lady who was getting
I'm
into
getting
the
a lap
taxi
dance.
sat on top of her, and it was like this weird fucking thing, dude. I mean, it was like,
White women.
I just was blown away. Like, man, I would never have the balls on me to do that
Yeah.
to another fucking person. But and then she fought with the lady, and I'm like trying to tell her, like, yo, I am here to pick her up, and she goes, fuck that, we can share it. And the lady was cool. She hopped in the back seat.
They shared after their fucking battle?
Damn, I'd have pulled her hair from the back seat.
And that's just me, like, let it go.
Yeah,
Let
right.
it
Because
go.
you-
Let's
because
not.
You get in the front, you get in the
If
back.
it's two dudes, you're like, all right,
That
separate,
would've
you get the
worked,
fuck
yeah.
away.
Oh, dude.
But because what's the weird thing? Two dudes could fight like that, and you're like, no, we can't
That
ride
lady
together.
had-
But those two women, they still hate each other to this day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely frenemy kind of vibe. Like they didn't.
Do you think they knew each other before that?
They
or-
did not know each other because
Okay.
I know one of
But
those
now
ladies
they do.
very
Okay,
well.
gotcha.
I driven her home a billion times, and she didn't deserve that. And if she wanted to stomp on that lady's fucking
You'd
neck.
have allowed it.
She was in every
no, I
right
can't stop
to be
it.
upset with this lady for doing what the fuck she did to her.
Right, yeah. And you know that, and see, that's the beauty about having like a local company. Like, if you deserve an ass whooping, you're gonna be like, hey,
We're gonna
Yeah,
protect
yeah.
ours. You know,
Exactly,
we got
yeah.
people in there that like hop in and they don't know who this guy is in the backseat and they're
Yeah.
running their fucking mouth. I'll diffuse the problem. If I can't, you gotta go. You're the
Yeah.
problem here.
If you're the
I
aggressor,
have
yeah.
this person that I deal with constantly. They're not the problem.
Yeah.
You're the one that's being the problem. You
Yeah.
know, so if I can't diffuse it, then they have to
then
go.
you got to go.
Yeah, we're always gonna protect our own.
In the last
we're
week,
gonna
I've
take care of
discussed
our
some,
own.
breezy story people, and like I've never been thrown out of a breezy. I'm sure you have not, and I'm really sure you have not. But they're like, really? I'm like, no. They're like, wow. I'm like, I don't act like an asshole in the cab.
Oh, they think it's surprising that you haven't been kicked
Because
out.
I'm a little more aggressive than some people are, but like I also submit to the authority of the person driving the car. If you're driving the car and I'm in the car, you're in charge of everything.
And I'm like, thank you for
Yes.
doing this for me.
No matter where I'm
Most people
going,
are. Yeah.
you're
Most people
driving.
are
Thank
very
you.
pleasant.
You're right.
So you
They're
say most people
grateful.
are like that, like, hey, thanks for helping me not
Dude,
get a DUI.
where we drive, it's a vacation island. Most people are drunk, high, in a good mood. You know, they're on
Typically.
vacations for the most part, yeah. And everybody
You ever
gets
get a 2
drunk
in the morning
differently.
sober person?
We got, dude, everybody gets drunk differently though. You know, some people get drunk and they want to fuck everybody. Some people get drunk and they want to fight everybody. Some people get drunk and they start fucking crying. You know, so it depends
we've
on
all
how
dated
they
her.
get drunk. You know.
We've all dated her.
How do you deal with like the girl crying part? You know, that because
once he gets out the car?
well, at the bar we have to spend like, if they're crying already, we're like, how much
Pizza?
They could stay there for like another hour or two. You know what I'm saying?
Pull the
That person's usually not alone though.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
need
yeah,
that
yeah, you're
attention,
right,
right?
yeah.
The reason of all that crying.
Nothing's
But I'm
worse than a
going
lonely
through-
crying girl.
Well, they
Who's not
definitely they need that attention though. They're doing that whole little boohoo pity me act, and they need somebody there
Yeah.
to soak that shit up
But
and
see,
be like,
you're
"Oh,
stuck. You're stuck if they're in the car.
Yeah, you're super stuck.
you think I'm?
Hey,
How nice you think I am?"
I got that new breezing eject button. Boom! Bye.
Hey, let me tell you, when the Reds do that, I can't tell them. Well, you don't understand. Like she was crying, and
She was sad. It was 2:30 in the morning. She was
my
on her
lights
period.
go out.
She
Whether
mentioned it 3 times. She was on her
lights need to
period.
be paid or they go out. Whether
No,
she's
I got
crying
it.
or not,
I
bro.
She got hit with a soap dish. She couldn't stop crying.
And like I said, I've learned to be a lot nicer. I've learned to bring my energy there.
Well, it's better if you can control the energy in the space where it's like, hey, you're going to come down to or come towards, my level of energy here instead of like, let's just ramp it up constantly. But like with the crying thing, like some people get upset at the bar and I'm just like, so knock knock.
Who's there? You not crying.
Who's there? Dishes. You
Your
know, like
tears.
that.
Look, there's a legitimate crime,
Yeah, what was
right?
your
There's a
knock, knock
crime
earlier?
because something happened and there's you have a reason to be
Yeah, it could
crying.
be. Some family member died.
Just
dog
because
died.
you're drunk and every time you get drunk you're crying doesn't mean
Yeah.
that somebody like me gives a shit.
But see,
like,
I
am not that
invalidate
guy, bro.
anyone's crime because I'm like, if someone is really upset, don't be in a cab or at a bar.
Yeah. Or don't be alone.
Don't be alone.
I mean, I guess
at a
something could
place
happen, but
looking for attention from someone.
That's what I'm saying. They're there to get that attention. Though,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
so
If
it
I'm gonna
invalidates
cry-
it.
But to me, it's like it has zero effect.
If I'm gonna cry, I go in the bathroom like a normal
I
human being.
don't have sympathy for anybody searching for sympathy or looking
Sure.
for that. Like you
You
if
can
anything,
tell,
it
too.
angers me. It's like the dog that sniffs the ass and senses the fear and it just wants to beat the shit out that scared dog.
It's a great
you get-
analogy that I didn't see coming at all.
You don't get that out of me. You underestimate how cold I can be, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm cold to people. I'm sympathetic to people that deserve it, right? But if just because you're drunk and crying and you're a fucking dry and crunk, you're no different than the angry drunk or the horny drunk. Why the fuck? I'm not
But
gonna
see,
allow
they're
this
used
stuff
to getting
at
attention when they do. They're used to being rewarded for those things like that.
Oh, yeah.
So I like that you're on my team where it's
Yeah.
like just don't reward them at all.
Dude,
and
it's
maybe
not my first rodeo, and I've learned how to navigate those waters as well.
You know what I'll get at Circa? A lot of crying people. At my table.
yeah.
Sorry. I didn't
Have
get
you
much.
ever forged like a really close relationship from someone that you met from the cab though?
I definitely have a bunch of relationships through the taxi alone,
Yeah.
where I'm constantly picking up people, even
no, I mean that
short-term
you-
relationships where people are just visiting
What
me
I
while
mean
they're
that-
here.
that
I think
you
he
really
means as you
connected with.
procreate with somebody.
That you really connect.
yeah,
That you
yeah.
really connected with.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I have.
Yeah, sure. So I want to ask. So since you've driven a cab, how has it changed your in-cab etiquette elsewhere?
I mean, it's like you bartend, and if you go to a bar, you don't sit there and be like, what do you have here that's good?
Yeah. What do I like?
So I don't like call a taxi until I'm ready to go, And once I get in there, actually I'm bullshitting because like that's the way I grew up. But nowadays it's all like Uber everywhere we go. But like where I grew up, it was the same thing. The taxi is not gonna wait for you. Like you wait for the taxi. When he pulls up, you're not out there, and that sucker's gone. Guess what? Call that number again to see if they send you another one.
Right. Yeah.
And that's where I grew up. I grew up in New York. It's a different planet when it comes to this shit. And then down here in the South, it's like. Not in the South, but here on Tybee, it's a different thing. It's not the same thing. And then there's people that have a lot of entitlement, especially when they find out our price and they want to abuse that,
I can't imagine abusing the $3. Like, oh, you know what? It's $3. Like it's such a cheap ride. I mean, I try to if my Uber waits for 1 minute, I'm like, I'm so sorry, and they're like, it's fine. I'm like, I know, but I just want to be ready when you're there.
And I don't want to be.
That's just etiquette, though. Respect.
And that's typical etiquette, and that goes across all services, no matter what the service is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what you're saying about the $3 thing, the thing that makes it so weird sounding, it happens at Huckapoo's too. So
that's
like,
right.
Someone comes in, they're like, I'm like, hey, you didn't pay your tab the other night. They're like, what? I had 2 beers. That's $4. I'm like, yeah, it's so fucking cheap.
Why did you pay?
Why did you not pay the $4? You know what I mean? If you're my friend and you forgot, I take care of that, and I probably don't even ask you later. But there's certain people that are just like, oh, what? Like their presence there is like creating something that's more valuable than the $4 that they're supposed to pay. It's like, no.
I want to dox Vince King right now. Speaking of that,
chase a couple down into the taxi that they didn't pay their tab, but they had this entitlement that they didn't need to pay it tonight.
Because it wasn't
like that they came to you or anybody else in there and made this clear.
Right.
They hopped in the taxi, and I had to sit there and listen to this like with my popcorn. Just,
And I think I remember because the wife goes,
you did not talk to my husband like that. It took a left turn real quick. It went from, hey, you got a tab to, fuck you, Paxton. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. She's like, you don't talk to my husband like that.
And let me tell you something. Paxton, the true gentleman, handled it like a G, sucked up the energy, literally put his hands together, bowed, and was like, yeah, have a good night, and walked away.
I called out Vince King the night. Last Monday I left here. I walk in. Miss Chris is bartending. Benny gets Budweiser. I get Tito's water. And she looks at Vince and goes, you got this on your tab, right? He goes, not him. And I'm like, put it on his tab. And I walked away because, like, I'm your son's best friend. Also, it's a $5 drink. I've covered 3 or 4 of your tabs. But, like, the idea that he was like, not him. Like, the way he said it, I was like, so I didn't pay my tab that night. I left. But if I go back up there and I have a $5 tab, I will pay it graciously. But the next time I see Vince King and he is any kind of fucked up, because I know you ain't watching Vince King, I am going to put so many things on your tab, and then I'm going to go to your house and put tabs in your shoe.
I'm going to see what I could get on Vince's tab when I'm there.
Yeah. It's not hard.
Even if I just walk in and be like, just, give me a pizza to go. And then when I'm gone, and he look at, what the fuck is this,
Like, you get
I don't remember a pizza.
Yeah, tell him it's for Jessica. It's fine.
He must have hit his head on his fucking soap dish that day.
That sounds like a terrible way to go.
I don't remember this pizza. And do people run tabs like in the cab, like instead of just being like, oh, hey, I don't have any money tonight?
If I give somebody a ride, I never keep a tab with them, I just write it off,
Yeah, sometimes you just got to.
But I have had people come to me
it.
afterwards. Like, I'll be at the bar or something like, hey, I owe you money from a ride from the other day, and they'll give us the money. That kind of thing. But I don't keep tabs on it.
It's a weird way to ask me, like, I'll get you next time. Like, like I'll run in the house and be like, I'll be right back. I know where the money's at. I'll come right back here.
See, there's like 3 situations where, like, if you're at a bar, you're like, oh, shit.
I forgot my wallet.
Or ran out of or my money hasn't transferred from this to that. There's a couple things where I'm just like, whatever.
Do people ask to Venmo you? Can I Venmo you? Do you get that?
Yeah, and Breezy's cash only, so we'll go to like an ATM or something like that. But once in a blue moon, like I'll just fucking do it to get it over with. You know? It's 3 o'clock.
I'm sure
in the morning.
You get it too.
I just
I've
want to
literally
fucking
never
get this
had a
night
customer
over
ask
with.
to Venmo me because they don't know me. But like I'm sure you have people like, oh, I'll just Venmo you. It's like,
yeah, no, it doesn't work.
I'm
like
not
that.
a bank.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have any cash.
And well, the thing is, like, everyone's like, hey, why don't you take Venmo? I'm like, because I don't own this business.
And Venmo is not a business paying app. Yeah. It's paying a personal business, not like a service industry business.
It's for buying T-shirts from Behind the BarCast.
Yes.
That's what it's for.
At from Behind the BarCast at gmail.com. T-shirts. We have extra large now.
So let's hear a terrible Breezy story after this break.
Yes.
The Tito's has flown through, or has gone through us like the dark side through Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, now you know Star Wars? Come on, man.
I knew that would make you angry.
I'm gonna let the hate flow through me.
So,
Bad
Crazy.
story. What a bad breezy story.
yeah, bad or good, just crazy.
I'll tell you a nutty
Bad,
one
not
was-
good. We don't want a good
Okay,
cap
yeah,
story
you're right,
to end
bad.
this. We want a bad story.
Well, I pick up a couple, and they had just met at the bar that night. One of those, taking them back to my place kind of shit.
Oh,
And
back to your place? Whoa,
no,
okay.
not my place, their place.
That's
you know?
not a good story.
Anyway, so while I'm driving, I hear the conversation in the back seat, and trust me, it's not like I'm eavesdropping, but I can't bear it.
I mean, you're
Can't
in
help
the
to
same
hear
place.
it.
I love you so
Well,
much,
I mean,
Sarah.
they're talking 3 feet from the back of my head.
You're
you
gonna
know?
hear it.
And anyway, so long story short, it starts out with the tongue on the dick or some shit like that. And
The
this girl-
conversation?
that's what he's telling her.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, you can see that?
And I could hear it. I could hear the slurping and all the other is going on in the back seat.
Oh, the tongue is actually on the
Oh,
dick.
they're not talking
yeah,
about it.
she's
Okay.
definitely performing fellatio.
There's fellation.
She don't want him to turn at any point on the ride home, so she wants him sold by the time they get there.
She's like, he's gonna come quick. I gotta get this over with now.
I'm sick of this dude.
Nah, like, I don't give a fuck really, but all I was worried is like, man, I hope he doesn't shoot over the fucking front seat and land on me. Like that was my biggest
get nibbled
fear,
on the
you know?
neck. That'd be much
I
worse.
put a little lead on that gas and was just trying to get there a little faster.
Just
So I had to
like
get these
now
fuckers
Now it's a
out this
race
car.
against time.
It's kind of a weird menage a threesome thing going on because I'm involved, even though I'm not touching. But
You
it's
ever been in a threesome? Well, I had someone give head in the back of the cab.
it was the worst threesome I've ever had. But that's like one of the craziest things that's happened in the backseat.
Well, I mean, so did she get out of the cab with him
Oh yeah.
and go to his place?
Well, no. The important question is,
Did he
did he come
finish?
before you got there? And did you know? Because it's even better if he did, and she was like,
You'd be surprised how fast
We'll
you
clean
can
up.
get to your wallet when it's around your ankles.
yeah,
I mean, they were gone in a jiffy.
yeah. He look if you're halfway warmed up to third base, here's money, here's all the money.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
inside.
How?
Once you stop, sometimes you can't pop.
And how? I mean, like, there's literally no ride like quicker than or longer than 5 minutes down here. So if you're trying to
I'm
get
trying to think,
business,
Crab Shack to
to
docks.
to Rock House.
I mean, if she could finish him by then, that's true talent.
Actually, ma'am, you can stay if your ride can be for free if you'd like to.
oh, you ever had any? So I had someone that I knew that knew someone. They were in Atlanta. And a similar situation. The thing was that this was before Ubers, kind of, and they got a cab ride, and they got in the cab, and it was a girl driving, and then she had her friend in the front seat, and it was a guy by himself that called for the cab. The girl in the front seat was like, she turns around, she's like, "Hey, what's up, babe?" He's like, "Nothing, what's up?" And she was like being sweet and friendly. She's like, "Can you mind if I hop in the back with you?" And he was like, "Okay." So he's like, "What the fuck, man?" So, but they're in Atlanta, so it's like, it's a little bit of a cab ride.
That could be a lot of a cab
And
ride.
she
Yeah.
starts to, fellate a little bit.
Yeah, long enough ride, I can see that happen.
There's a
Dude, it's
the ride
Atlanta.
was
You
long
can do that
enough.
3 times.
You'd be surprised
So-
how wild it got on Tybee, and that's
so they
much
drop
shorter
him
ride.
off, and he's like, "Do you want some money?" They're like, "No, honey, you're good." And he gets out of the car. He was like, "Holy shit, what a fucking cab ride!"
Yeah, blow job paid.
No wallet.
Oh!
He got robbed
Oh,
during fellatio.
And I bet he was like, "Oh well."
all I had was a receipt and $8 in there.
$4 in there, his old school ID, and a charge card.
Do you get good ground scores in the cab?
not as often as you would think.
Yeah, I would think
Once
that,
in the blue moon.
Do you
Yeah,
check
yeah.
the
Once
seats
in
when
the
you
blue.
at the end of the night?
Probably.
I have
A
found
lot of
money.
lighters, I bet. A lot of lighters.
Kelly is.
But you haven't bought
Kelly
a
gets
lighter-
them before I can.
But you haven't bought a lighter in 20 years.
Kelly's like the ground score king.
Dude, I go to Kelly's house. He's got a jelly bean jar full of fucking lighters.
That's what he said. Look, I haven't bought a lighter
He
in.
found
I
them
don't.
all
I
in the
can't.
back
I
of
think
a
I bought
Breezy.
one lighter in the last 15 years. I remember being like, "Why?" am
I just figured there'd be 5 weed pens in there every single night at the end of a shift.
I think I'll find those more than Kelly. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm more
But see, I don't smoke, but I would wonder. I'd be like, well, Just bleach the tip. And
Drunk people drop shit in the taxi
alcohol
all the
in 2
time.
days,
I
you're
find
fine.
hats, bags. I found fucking ribeye steaks. I found all kinds of
Whoa,
shit.
whoa,
in the
whoa,
backseat.
whoa, whoa, whoa! What,
Hey,
ribeye steaks?
and let me tell you, they were still good.
Cooked or uncooked?
No, they were raw. They were raw.
Mostly good.
dropped your ribeye. Oh, go ahead. I got it.
Ribeyes. I got one on the stove. Cool.
I
I
found
can't.
Ray-Bans and
Oh, nice.
T-shirts and all kinds of stuff.
How often do
Hoodies?
people how often do people come back and be like, hey, did you see some Ray-Bans?
Nope.
Or do they?
Have you seen my ribeye steak I left in the back of the cab?
If you leave something in the taxi and we can get it back to you, cool. But most of the time, it's like
But no one's calling like the next day for the most part. Like,
I mean,
hey,
cell phones you got to get back. You
usually it's like maybe a cell phone or somebody's like wallet or
Dignity.
something like
Wallet,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I left my dignity in the backseat of the cab.
But usually it's not like, hey, you see my ribeyes? Or
if I leave a ribeye in the cab, I'm just,
I lost
seen my
the
bag of
lighter
meth?
in the back of your taxi.
looking for my meth bag. I was back here. It looks like the teeth in the bottom of this
I lost the
glass.
bag of blow. Can you do me a favor and look in the back seat
Have
of
you-
the
have you
Breezy?
found
If you
my
find it, will
dentures?
you call my number and send it back to me?
You can have half of it.
It's yours. I didn't find anything back here at all.
Speaking of parts of the podcast we're going to have to cut out.
That's for
So,
the
for your
Patreon.
Patreon subscribers, enjoy this last little part
That's the
here.
Patreon podcast. Well, we appreciate you coming in tonight, Martin.
Hey, I am
Hey.
so honored that you guys have me on the show.
no,
Thank
yeah,
you very
yeah,
much.
You're
You
a
did well.
long-time listener.
Super fun. We should do a part 2 for Kelly and Martin.
Yes.
I would love to
yes.
come back.
In the
It'd be
coming
awesome.
I want to get Kelly wasted though. I want like uber honest Kelly.
Yeah, because Kelly, he
No pun
like,
intended on the Uber.
He had like a little sip of a drink.
Yeah,
before
Kelly
we
didn't drink
started,
much.
but he didn't drink during.
No.
That's like
we
me
need to get him
after
lit up.
one blunt. You know?
Yeah.
Like, come on
you know what,
now.
Martin?
It's not even scratching the
You and
surface.
Kelly,
No,
you,
right,
and,
exactly.
you and Kelly get hammered, and I'll get
Y'all
wasted
get
high with him.
super stoned. Yeah, okay.
And you'll just go try to get words in.
What
while
I'll
we
do
talk.
is I'll just get Kelly to come over and we'll start drinking,
Oh,
and
that'd
then
be
I'll be
awesome.
like, "Hey, let's walk upstairs for a second.
Dude,
3,
if
2,
you-
1, Clay."
If you could
Why is
just
Clay up
get-
here?
If you could just get our like fucked up conversation and
no.
edit it.
Well,
and
half
we
the
have it,
reason
like-
half the reason I do a podcast at all, or I even thought of it, was because when Kelly would come over late at night and we'd fucking wouldn't shut the fuck up. He was like, he would text me the next day and go, "Good podcast last night."
Joke's on you, it was. That's the way to do it. I'll be up here and you start talking.
Dude, you just be up here very
I'll just lower
quiet.
the mic down slowly. Just slowly but surely.
He's like, "What is that above my head?"
Like a boom
Yeah, perfect,
operator.
Yeah.
Yeah, cut that so Kelly can't see this part.
If you want to contact us, it's FromBehindTheBarcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram and Facebook from Behind the Barcast. We have a P.O. Box. It's P.O. Box 191, Tybee Island, Georgia 31328. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Clint.
Thank you.
Paxton.
See you next
Episode
time.
dish.
Cheers,
Time.
queers.
Cheers, queers.